Imagine a royal dynasty trapped in a relentless cycle of assassination. A ruling king is murdered by his own son to seize the throne. Then, years later, that son is murdered by his son. The pattern repeats itself, generation after generation, turning the royal lineage into a literal blood relay. This sequence of continuous patricide actually happened in the ancient Indian kingdom of Magadha. It was carried out by the rulers of the Haryanka Dynasty, the first royal family in the region to leave behind definitive archaeological evidence of their reign. This map outlines the political geography of the ancient Indian subcontinent. It was divided into 16 Mahajanapadas. These Mahajanapadas were the large, dominant superpowers of the ancient world. Among them, Magadha held a uniquely powerful position. A kingdom of this size required massive resources and strict organization to survive. Yet the leadership of the most prosperous, well-administered empire in the ancient world devolved into a chaotic bloodbath of family betrayal. To understand how the kingdom collapsed so violently, we must rewind to 544 BC. That is when a 15-year-old visionary named King Bimbisar ascended the throne and built the Magadha Empire from scratch. Bimbisar was a capable military general from childhood, but he realized that sheer brute force could only take a kingdom so far. He applied his genius to statecraft, laying down massive physical infrastructure, like these ancient stone walls, to establish strict borders and secure his capital. He backed up this defense with a strong economy. Bimbisar defeated his father's rival to capture the Anga region. This specific victory gave Magadha direct access to vital river and sea trade routes, ensuring a massive influx of wealth. With his economy secured, Bimbisar deployed his diplomatic playbook. Rather than antagonizing his neighbors, he expanded Magadha's influence through strategic marriage alliances, wedding princesses from the powerful kingdoms of Koshala, Vriji, and Madra. These alliances paid immediate dividends. His marriage to Princess Koshala Devi included the incredibly wealthy city of Kashi as a dowry. Magadha's income and tax revenue immediately spiked. This animated map illustrates the sheer scale of the territory Bimbisar managed. At its height, the Magadha Empire was divided into roughly 80,000 distinct villages. To collect taxes efficiently across such a vast area, he created a strict chain of command. Every village had its own assembly, managed by local headmen known as gramoks. These gramoks reported directly to high-ranking judicial, military, and financial officials. Beyond taxation and military defense, Bimbisar funded cultural diplomacy. He provided free services and material support to both Buddhist and Jain monks, earning massive public loyalty and the title of the people's king. Bimbisar constructed a highly prosperous, perfectly organized geopolitical machine. He secured his borders, enriched his citizens, and built peace with his neighbors. That baseline of order makes the impending betrayal by his own son deeply tragic. Bimbisar considered his son, Ajatashatru, to be his ideal heir. He even granted Ajatashatru control over the wealthy, trade-heavy Anga region. Ajatashatru governed Anga well, but he coveted his father's entire imperial throne. According to Buddhist sources, rival religious factions recognized this ambition. Advised by opponents of Bimbisar's allies, Ajatashatru turned on his father. Ajatashatru imprisoned Bimbisar in a dungeon. The man who built the Magadha Empire from nothing was stripped of his power, ending his life while locked away by his own flesh and blood. This single act of patricide immediately unraveled decades of Bimbisar's careful diplomacy. Bimbisar's wife, Koshala Devi, died of grief shortly after, instantly shattering the crucial peace alliance with her home kingdom of Koshala. Looking at this border map, you can see the immediate geopolitical fallout. Enraged by his sister's death, Koshala's king Prasenjit attacked Magadha, stripping away the wealthy crown jewel city of Kashi. Ajatashatru spent years launching violent counteroffensives to win Kashi back. After eventually securing a tense compromise, he waited until Prasenjit died to fully invade Koshala, and then launched a ruthless, bloody conquest of the neighboring Vriji kingdom. Ajatashatru did manage to expand the empire's borders, but he achieved it entirely through brute force. He destroyed his father's diplomatic blueprint and established violence as the only language of Magadha's politics. Ajatashatru ruled with military supremacy, but his reign ended exactly as his father's did. History repeated itself when Ajatashatru was violently murdered and overthrown by his own son, Udayin. This royal lineage tree illustrates the full manifestation of the curse. Udain's betrayal completely normalized patricide within the royal court. According to Buddhist chronicles, every subsequent king of the Haryanka dynasty died at the hands of his own heir. Decades of constant assassinations and violent royal transitions took their toll. The administrative system of 80,000 villages that Bimbisar had carefully organized fractured under the political instability, enraging the general public. The citizens of Magadha finally reached their breaking point. They orchestrated a massive revolt, executed the final Haryanka ruler, Nagadasaka, and installed the completely new leader to form the Shishunaga dynasty. Bimbisar proved that an empire can be built through vast wealth, massive infrastructure, and careful diplomacy. But the bloody collapse of his bloodline reveals a harsh reality. Without a legitimate, stable culture of power transition, even the most prosperous kingdom will inevitably destroy itself from within.